So Emmanuel Macron has been elected President of the French Republic. It's the first time that such a young guy makes it to the Élysée Palace. He is only 39 years old and is a former banker who was called to the Élysée by François Hollande to be an economic counselor. He was an economic minister where he launched service sector reform, and 1 year ago he resigned to launch his own campaign through the En Marche movement with which he won the election. Indeed, it's quite exceptional in the sense that the president is not coming from one of the two traditional parties. The two main political traditional parties in France, we'll do that again. This time both traditional parties presented candidates who won their primaries that were very extreme, so both on the left and on the right, meaning that for once the center of the political exchequer was really opened to new candidates. And as Mr. Macron, representing a kind of new way of doing politics, allowed him to win. A lot of people came to vote against Mrs. Le Pen. Also a record number of blank votes, so more than 4 million people. They wanted neither him nor Mrs. Le Pen to govern. So it's certainly not a very strong mandate for him to reform. We are standing in the middle of the European headquarters here in Brussels. The vote for Mr. Macron is certainly a pro-European one, but still the French people want a kind of other Europe, so a Europe which is more integrated, with more social powers and more impact on their daily lives. And so this is really the main European challenge for Mr. Macron. From an economic point of view, Mr. Macron wants to lower taxes both for households and for companies, and to invest a lot in the future of the economy. If he manages to have a governing majority at the Assembly, he will probably be able to achieve great things in the next 5 years. Now, it could also be that at the National Assembly there is not enough centrist forces, and that he will face, in fact, a fierce extreme opposition in the Assembly. And in this case, it is not excluded that he ends up like Mr. Renzi in Italy, for example, who tried to reform quite quickly and failed. So this is really a risk for France, but it's also a wonderful opportunity.